man, is not the type of guy who sits there and inspires other people to become a great NFL player. He's not that motivator. He's just a chubby dude who looks like Mike Holmgren on the sideline.
No, dude. Here's what happens, and everything said, we're almost to the end of the show, so here's how this thing stacks up. Kansas City wins, I think, 24-17.
You're right. I concur that Kansas City probably will win. I don't believe it's going to be as high a scoring game as I think the defenses are both going to dominate on each side. I believe it ends up 17-13. I really do. But I just don't think that Andy Reid is a good coach. I think Bill O'Brien holds not just one check in that little comparison box, but I think he holds two checks. As I think, even though he was really close to losing his job midway through the season, this guy is a hell of a coach. Look at what he's done with average quarterbacks. Average is being too nice. He started the season with Hoyer and Mallett.
We're talking about him being let go. What are you talking about? We were talking about him losing his job.
I know.
The only reason they got in is because of default of other teams. That doesn't qualify you to be a better coach. What qualifies you to be a better coach is better game planning and better strategy. And Andy Reid is going to win all day.
He has done
the Chiefs
so
are going to
much
go farther
more with
than
less.
Pittsburgh is going to lose. Pittsburgh is going to lose to Cincinnati. Cincinnati is going to go in to New England. Kansas City is going to go into Denver and beat them, and then they're going to go to New England and they're going to beat them, and they're going to go to the Super Bowl this year. This is how it's going down.
Okay, well, let's play the wife swap game here with Bill O'Brien and Andy Reid. Okay, I know what you're thinking. It's like if Bill O'Brien had Andy Reid's team and Andy Reid had Bill O'Brien's team, Bill O'Brien would destroy like a 55-0 type of game against an Andy Reid coached Texans team. That is why Bill O'Brien can do so much more with so little. Whereas Andy Reid still hasn't figured out how to use Jamal Charles. And how do you not figure that out? He's like one of the best West Coast running backs you could have.
Yeah, you can hate on him all you like, but the reality is a 10-game win streak speaks for itself, soon to be an 11, 12, and 13-game win streak. And off to the Super Bowl to face probably the Seattle Seahawks.
What? Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I think everybody's kind of hoping for that. KC versus Seattle sounds like a great Super Bowl. And we're all looking forward to it. But first, they're going to have to get past Houston. And though we both agree that the likelihood that they will get past Houston is pretty damn up there. It's a pretty good chance that that's going to occur. At the end of the day, this is where I think KC could have their problems and have had their problems. How did the last playoff game for Kansas City end up as a loss? Tell me that.
Yeah. It was horrible.
They
need to come out and they need to play well and they need to put that behind them or they're never going to hear the end of it. No, it is unbelievable how they lost playoff games. And not just that one, from the one in Indianapolis with Peyton Manning when their punter never came onto the field.
Yeah.
Brutal. They have gone into the playoffs and played brutal. So, and that's no mystery. And yes, are people scared it's going to happen again? Of course they are. But I think this team overcomes it. They're not the same team that they were. So I think this is a different team. And I'm going to have people over here, Houston fans. We're doing some Kansas City style ribs on the grill. It's going to be a great time.
I'm happy for you. I really am. And we've always wanted this scenario to play out, and it might actually truly be happening this year. We've talked about this scenario even before Seattle was out of the AFC. That's how long we have basically talked about Seattle versus KC for the longest time, and how we'd love to see this work out as a matchup one day, one time. And it could happen this year. You know, we gotta go to theme that year here in a few minutes. But is there anything else that you would like to say about KC at Houston before we head that direction? My closing thoughts is that it's really going to depend on, one, the offensive line of Kansas City, and two, the secondary of Kansas City and how they deal with Brian Hoyer. Those two matchups are the two matchups that you need to make sure that it happens the right way.
In this game, Kansas City puts its doubters to rest by Alex Smith putting this team on his back and going deep, and Marcus Peters taking one to the house, and the team finally wins their playoff game and gets that monkey off their back, and Alex Smith shuts people up.
Wow. And who would have ever thought at the beginning of the year that you would have been saying Alex Smith puts anything on his back? And who would have thought that you would have said Marcus Peters comes in and becomes this like phenomenon? It has been a wonderful journey. Here we are at the end of week 17 going into the wild card playoffs. And it's almost like we're watching a completely different NFL than what we're used to. Who knows? Any given Sunday, anything could happen. It's time for Name That Year, because we need to be off just a little bit early. I need to make sure that the guys on the stretch have had that opportunity to find a soundboard operator, and if they haven't, then I might need be working a little double time tonight. Matt, I picked up one quick little thing, and this is actually I thought of Javi when I heard this. Before we play Name That Year, I have an NFL parody for the Minnesota Vikings. It's called The First Time in Forever.
An amazing season from Diggs and Barr. AP leading the league in total rushing yards. Is it circumstance or is it fate? For years we've hoped for a playoff berth, building the franchise to improve net worth. Finally Zim has opened up the gates. We're in the actual real life playoffs. It feels totally strange, but while we were so ready for this change, for the first time in forever, Game 16 won't be the end. For the first time in forever, we have a real chance to contend. Don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone. 'Cause for the first time in forever, our season end will be postponed. Out of the pocket, Teddy standing tall, avoids a sack, is back against the wall, finds his man as time begins to fade. Harry the hitman gets another pick, Walsh seals the deal with 54-yard kick. PA fills the air with accolades. Cove and Lieber talk all evening as phone lines overflow. Fans trying to call into the show. For the first time in forever, we're one step closer to our goal. For the first time in forever, we could make it to the Super Bowl. They know that it's totally crazy to have hope this far in advance, but for the first time in forever, at least we've got a chance.
All right, Javi, I hope you enjoyed that. That was First Time in Forever. The Vikings are in the postseason. Oh, my freaking God. Okay, guys, it's time to close this out, so let's go to Name That Year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for everyone's favorite show. We will play a sound clip, and if you can guess the year this clip was live, you will be eligible for big money.
Okay, guys, we all know how it's played. You listen to the clip, you figure out what year it is, and then you text us, email us, send us your blood, semen, sample, whatever, and we will go ahead and...
don't do
I don't care.
I don't want it. It'll go to Nash's house.
Yeah, It'll definitely be coming to my house. Coming to my house. That's gross. Okay, so here's the clip, guys. It's only 31 seconds long. It is time for Name That Year. Go ahead and listen closely, but I'm pretty sure most of you will be able to identify it right away.
Samuel came close to a game-ending interception.
Well, that's about as demonstrative as you're going to see Eli Manning.
Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet, airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree. Inside the 25 and a timeout taken.
All right, guys. I'm pretty sure almost everybody knows that one. But you're going to be your job to text in 77948, type the word text, space, and then the year that clip, which I'm not going to give any hints, that clip came out or was live or was relevant. Okay, but with that, I hope to see everybody tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have the War Room. It's the first time we're going to be playing this segment, as we are going to have the ladies, both Marnie Schneider and Susan T. Spencer, on with us for at least a few moments to talk Black Monday and what's going on in the coaching carousel. And we will go over the other game in the second half of the show with Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati. But with that, I'm Nash.
And I'm Matt.
And you're listening to NFL Talk. Have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow.
That was NFL Talk Late Night from Jock Journal with the biggest morons in the country. If you aren't asleep already, it might be time to get to bed. However, I'm sure most of you are still looking for me on AshleyMadison.com.